I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. It's another edition of the Daily Puck Drop, your daily sports podcast that you can't live without. It's a Wednesday. We welcome you in. Wednesdays mean we get a visit with Jim Moore, the go-to guy. He's coming up here in a few minutes. We also talked to Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times, Inside Pitch with Divish, brought to you by Chalet Bowl. And we talked Seahawks in the bloody trenches with Rob Staton from SeahawksDraftBlog.com. That's all coming up in today's show. Also, we didn't touch on this topic Monday, but more news coming out on the sports gambling scandal. We're going to get to that and a little Seahawks conversation. They're starting to heat up in the national perspective of whether or not they are truly a Super Bowl contenders. We're broadcasting, as we always do, via the Limback Lumber Studios, the best in the business. Limback Lumber Studios. Give them a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them at limbacklumber.com. And a quick, you know what? Speaking of Limback Lumber, you know, he's going to be mad that I did this, but you know what? Who cares? You know what? It's fine. Shout out to our guy, Paul. Paul, who works over at Limback Lumber. Well, Paul runs Limback Lumber. His father passed away a few weeks ago, and the crew over there at Limback Lumber, he's a Husky fan, and the crew over there at Limback Lumber did something really cool. They honored they all got together and honored his dad at halftime of the Illinois game with a video message up there, which was really, really cool on their part. So to Paul and his entire family, our thoughts are with you and all of the Limback Lumber family and everyone that was put that together to have that message up there. His dad was a huge Husky fan. We've talked about it a lot. It was literally the first NIL deal, the tie, all that stuff was Limback Lumber back in the day. And so shout out to those guys and just we're thinking about you. You can follow me on all the social media platforms. So Puck Sports everywhere except for TikTok. It's Puck_sports. And you can find everything up at pucksports.com. We are graced every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, ladies and gentlemen, by a true legend, a pioneer in journalism, a pioneer in sports broadcasting, and a man now that is retired in Bend, Oregon, and he's picked up hunting. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jim Moore, the go-to guy, brought to you by an army of sponsors.
Yeah, I sent some sarcasm in that introduction, but thank you for that anyway, Puck. Yeah, I want to thank Brian Turner from A Clean Streak in Oak Harbor. He also has Bright Owl Lighting. You'll have the nicest Christmas lights in your neighborhood with Bright Owl Lighting, and you don't have to mess with ladders. Don't hang over the gutters. Don't risk your life. Let Turner's crew risk their lives, okay? No hassles with untangling strand. Free estimates call
my favorite
360. Let someone else die.
Let somebody else die. That's our motto at Bright Owl Lighting. We'll die so you can have lights.
Give them a call, 360-675-2034, or visit brightowllighting.com. Brad Brotherton, you know him. Listen, Brad Brotherton's the kind of guy, when you shake his hand, it's a firm handshake. He looks you in the eye, and he's going to give you a good deal there at Brotherton Cadillac Northwest and Shoreline, and Brotherton Cadillac and Brotherton Buick GMC in
How about a deal for me, Brad? Come on.
He's sponsoring me, not you.
Okay, but throw a guy a bone.
Okay,
maybe
so you got Christmas lights last year. You want me to talk to Turner about that?
They're already coming right after Thanksgiving.
Okay. Oh, they are?
Yeah. Well, we already signed, sealed, and delivered. Already booked. Can't wait.
So you're going behind my back on this?
No, Brian always reaches out. I love Brian. He wanted to do it like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, Brian, it's October. I don't know. It's a little early for
you
lunch.
Love him just for Brian Turner, the person, or the fact that he's giving you a free Christmas lights display?
Oh, Jim, of course, for the free Christmas lights.
Okay, now you want a free car from Brotherton?
Sure, if he's offering.
All right. And what do you want from
Cadillac?
What do you want from Matt Baker at the Angry Beaver in Greenwood?
An open tab.
An open tab. Okay. If you go to the Angry Beaver today at 5:00 to watch the Blue Jays against the Dodgers in Game 5, you'll be there during happy hour. $2 off drinks and everything on the menu. So check
Who do
it
you
out.
like? Who
at
do you
the
like
Angry
tonight?
Beaver.
Who you put money on?
Well, I'm going to bet on the Blue Jays, but I looked at Blake Snell's numbers at home. He's got a 1.17 ERA at Dodger Stadium this year.
Pretty good. Pretty good, that Blake Snell.
Yeah. So I like the Jays, though. I'm gonna bet on the Jays. And I know, God, sorry, Mariner fans.
Oh,
I know if I'm pandering to Mariner fans, I'm going to say, oh, God, I can't watch. I just can't watch. But
don't worry. Mariner fans aren't watching. Remember, it's too emotional for them.
that was a hell of a game last night, too. I enjoyed that. If you're a Blue Jays fan.
It was a good game. It was a game that kind of got away from the Dodgers. But, yeah, it was a good game. It was good early on. Ohtani wasn't completely on top of his game. But, yeah, it's been highly entertaining, all of it.
That's set up to go 7 games. How good is that if you go a game 7 in the World Series? Come on.
It'll be great. Big great. Come on. Did we get Ohtani back? We right? We would, wouldn't we? It went yesterday?
Yeah, but game 7's on
4,
Saturday.
5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'd probably see Ohtani.
Pitching on 3 days rest.
Yeah, why not? Look at him. He's built for it. Good God. Just a mountain of a man. I thought of you this morning because I was up way too early. Way too early.
What was happening? What, something negative, probably?
No.
Something positive?
I was watching a show that led me into then 7 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, what's on right now?
Oh, you watch First Take?
No, the other one.
Get Up?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Kimberly Martin.
Well, and I see why you like her. I mean, for people
I have
who don't
a
know,
thing for Kimberly Martin.
you really do, and I'm all for it. I mean, I can find myself having a thing for Kimberly Martin as well.
Yeah,
but I thought of you and others that watch that stuff. Like the second topic, they're like, all right, and we're going to talk about the world. First of all, the entire panel's all NFL guys, every one of them. Kimberly Martin, Jeff Saturday, Foxworthy, Peter Schrager, Greenberg.
I don't like Schrager, by the way. The new addition there, he doesn't do anything for me.
He was better on NFL Network. Anyways, because I have a panel of NFL guys. But we're going to start off our coverage today with the World Series. And these guys are breaking down the World Series. I'm like, they're all NFL guys. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Don't you have a baseball expert there? Don't you have Passan or Eduardo Perez or Tim Kirchin? Is there anybody around that could talk baseball to have on there except these guys? And but my favorite part is we're going to talk baseball. Then after we talk baseball, the Dallas Cowboys, what do they need to do on defense? And I'm thinking, see, this is why I don't watch it. I don't think I've turned that thing on for it's been over a year, longer than that.
Okay. Do you realize how rich you're sounding right now?
Yeah, I know.
Because at least these people have a specialty where they're supposed insiders. You and I don't have anything.
We've got everything.
What are we experts in? If you talked about gambling and point spreads, then maybe you could call me an insider.
We've got expertise on life. We entertain people. We make people laugh. They don't make anybody laugh.
Are you saying just because they're NFL insider reporter types that they don't follow baseball and that we shouldn't value their opinion on whatever happened last night at Dodger Stadium?
I'll just say this. Go back and watch it, and you tell me if they know anything about baseball. Just watch it.
Well, they were probably stuck going, God, we got to lead with the World Series, but we had all these NFL people showing up. But they should have planned ahead knowing that Game 4 was last night.
It doesn't sneak up on them. They know when the game is. It's right there. But let's have a panel of 8 NFL guys and hot Kimberly Martin to talk about Game 4 of the World Series. It's just okay. But then I just laughed when it was just second topic. What will the Cowboys do at the deadline? I'm like, this show hasn't changed. It's just rinse and repeat.
Well, the reason I watch it,
Cowboys.
The reason I watch it, and then on another TV, I've got 3 TVs here.
I know why you watch.
I watch the Golf Channel because I bet on the European Tour and whatever else might be going on.
I know why you.
But I try and watch because it's part of my show prep because I don't want to be unprepared when I show up for your show.
It's all of your show prep. These
no,
shows
it's not all of my show
terrible.
Prep. I listen to Chuck and Bucky sometimes. I listen to Mitch Monday mornings. I read the Seattle Times. I read the Athletic.
These shows
people, I get a bad rap.
awful.
People always think that, oh God, he's a slacker. He doesn't show prep. I do. I honestly do.
Do people honestly? I'm honestly asking. Do people watch these shows in the morning?
If people didn't
they
watch these
must.
shows, they wouldn't be on for very long.
Good Lord.
Well, but you just sit there and what am I looking for? I mean, you slobber all over the MLB network, and God, you think those guys are the greatest thing ever.
Greatest
and
show ever.
I like them too. But if you're not into baseball, why would you watch it?
Then move out of the country. Get ice to get people that don't like baseball.
Well, the NFL's king. It's the NFL. We love baseball, but around the country, it's not America's pastime anymore. It's just not.
Yeah, well, it's sad. I love football. This isn't I'm not bagging on football. I love football like everybody else.
I love baseball more than the NFL. I don't love baseball more than college football, although it's getting closer.
Well, college football is. You know what has been sad for me this year is, and it was this way last year, and there's some other things that factor into it. Man, I used to get up every Saturday morning, flip it on at 7 a.m. to watch game day. I can't even watch game day anymore. I can't. I actually turned it off last week. I just couldn't stand. I'm just not a McAfee guy. I actually was a long time ago. I really liked him when he was doing his own thing because he started kind of doing what we're doing, use YouTube, and then I think he went to Barstool. I think then he did FanDuel or something. He was kind of doing his own thing. And then he has just become, I just can't watch it anymore. It's become so obnoxious. And then, the game, the landscape of the sport has changed so much. They don't talk about anything other than the SEC. It's just SEC talk. All of it. And I miss Rinaldi. I want the crying pieces back. I loved game day when Rinaldi had to go sit down with the punter on the team who just lost his mom to cancer and his dog died and his dad has got, syphilis or something. And how has Jimmy responded? And Rinaldi's making him cry, and I'm like, I'm tears. I miss those stories. Can we get those back?
Okay, where in your
I couldn't think of anything
did you come
else.
up with syphilis for a dad?
I don't know.
Who would do that? Besides being insensitive.
I don't know. It was the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
don't you have a dump button there? Can't you dump yourself?
Why? We're on the internet. We don't have to dump.
I'm with. Okay, here's the thing. I'm with you on McAfee. I think he's trying too hard to be this bombastic personality.
Oh,
and the thing is that I'm 68. You're 49. You turn 50 in December. That's going to be. We having a party for that, by the way. So they don't really care about people who are old.
Some of us are.
They care about the 25 to 54.
I know.
You're still in that. If you're 25 years old, you probably think McAfee's the greatest thing ever. And you're glad they got rid of that old decrepit Corso guy. So you're happy about
it. I think for Lee, it was time for him to move on.
It was time 2 years ago, of course it was time.
All right, we didn't touch on this on Monday. Now I'm going down a rabbit hole that we're gonna lose time here if we don't get to it. We didn't spend much time on the sports gambling scandal. I talked to Canzano yesterday, and normally we just do a lot of college football. We spent half of this. You want to talk about show prep? Go back and watch or listen to Canzano from yesterday. We spend 20 minutes talking football, college football, like we always do, Oregon, and why guys like Jordan Reffett are still upset that they're not ranked and stuff like that. And then we talked a little Jimmy Rogers, and then we got into the Chauncey Billups and the betting scandal. And it's just like there's so many layers to this. And there's a connection, they think, to Clutch Sports, which is
that layer. If you could explain that again, because I heard your conversation with Canzano, and I wasn't aware of the hoodie having any significance when he walked out of the courtroom.
So he's wearing a hoodie, a brown hoodie, says Clutch Sports on it. Well, Clutch Sports is the agency that started by Rich Paul. Rich Paul is the agent for LeBron James. He represents a lot of other guys, but it's LeBron James. It's his buddy. Met him, I think, in an airport, and that's how he became his agent. Anyways, there's some thought that there's some skeletons there at Clutch Sports, maybe in the LeBron camp. And that why he was wearing it
at this point.
Sure, absolutely. And again, it's people by just throwing down. Why is he wearing that sweatshirt? Is he wearing that to say to Clutch Sports and to Rich Paul and to LeBron James, you have my back. Come get me. Because if you don't, I can turn. And, you know, John and I both agreed he is caught up in something that he had to participate in these poker games because there was something else going on. And we think that because John thinks he's mentioned later in the report as, I think, conspirator number 8. He thinks that's Chauncey Billups. And that he probably was betting on games. Mafia found out about it, said, hey, listen, we're gonna rat you out if you don't help us out. And that's why he's caught up in that whole thing. But
so your guess is that the Portland Trail Blazers coach, who used to play at Colorado, used to play in the NBA, that he might have been betting on games and then doing the Pete Rose thing, although Pete said he never bet on the Reds. Do you think he bet against the Blazers?
I think it's a high possibility he's giving information to bookies and bettors on his own team and guys that are out. Yeah.
Well, if I'm these guys in the Mafia, I'm probably saying, hey, Chauncey, your team's so shitty anyway. We bet on them to lose all the time. So, like, what kind of inside information is he giving them? So
what do you do with sports gambling? And some want to sweep this under the rug, say, no, it's not affecting the integrity of the game. Don't worry about it. You know, the inside the NBA guys got a big argument about this when the story broke. You know, Kenny Smith saying, listen, it's an addiction. These guys are addicted to it. Charles Barkley pushed back. No, they're not addicted to it. They're just stupid. I mean, have we pushed the envelope too far with legalizing sports gambling? Now, I'm all for it. You're all for it. Although it's so funny that you still don't even bet on it legally. You still
I do. I've got a DraftKings account.
Oh, okay.
Some account called Rebet.
You still have the offshore one.
I quit doing the overseas thing.
Okay.
And I know that was illegal, but God, I always felt so weird, going to Walmart and the MoneyGram, and then the lady would go, well, let's see, it's Ricardo Di Vincenzo in Costa Rica that you're sending the money to. Mr. Moore, do you know who Mr. Di Vincenzo is? Oh yeah.
No, I do not. No,
he's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and now I wonder. I was thinking I saw this commercial. It was a couple weeks ago. It plays all the time during Husky games. And I said this to John, and I'm not trying to single them out. It's just
no, go ahead. I know where you're going, and I agree with you, but I still
Damon Williams and Jonah Coleman are doing a commercial for a sports book. I mean, think of this day and age that we're in. 2025. Did you think I was going someplace else with somebody else?
No. I knew where you were going, but you could have other examples too. Like I think Drew Timmy's involved with whatever that casino is in Spokane.
But he's not in college anymore. And I said this even with Canzano. Maybe there's some Wazoo guy that's doing something for Northern Quest. I don't know. I don't live in Spokane. I don't get Spokane channels. I just get the Seattle channels. And when I saw that commercial for the first time, I was really like, God, really? College guys pumping up a casino? Sports.
I think you're right. But
that just doesn't seem right. Do the optics of that seem right to you?
No. And there should, but the problem is there are no rules when it comes to NIL. And so that includes casinos. If they want to, like those kids, if they were approached by DraftKings or whoever it was, to do those ads or to sponsor, endorse them, all those things, then yeah, they're going to go ahead and do it. But I'm with you. I think it's gone as much as you and I like betting on games. Yeah. I think it's gone too far. And Puck, you brought up a great point, and I think we were talking about it the last time we got together on Monday. But it's one thing when you're trying to get a player, the point shaving thing, when you're trying to get his team to lose the game, and you're betting on that team to lose the game, so he contributes. But you don't have the rest of the players, the other 10 players. They're not on board with it. So they're trying to win like mad, even though there's one guy working against the team winning. Well, now with the prop bets,
that's the problem.
The prop bets are just ripe for this kind of stuff happening.
Absolutely.
I think this is just the first time that we're going to hear about this stuff with Rozier. But all you have to do is get to one guy. And hey, man, just miss your shot, shoot a few air balls tonight. We're going to take under 15.5 on your points, and you're golden.
Yeah. So the prop bets need to go. They need to go. And I think the leagues need to, but I guarantee, how many millions of dollars do you think those prop bets bring in for these books? I mean,
Well, like my kids, college kids are really into that. They're into that more
prop
than
bets.
betting on teams to
Yes.
win or lose.
Yeah.
They're
And
betting on their fantasy players to have good. I mean, you can bet on fantasy totals. I mean, there's all different ways that you can bet now.
And it's the in-game prop bets. I mean, that stuff right there, which is just a slippery slope. You and we didn't do that. Like, that wasn't when we were growing gambling.
I
don't do it either.
occasionally.
I don't do it. I'm just a point spread over-under guy. That's money line. That's it.
I am too, and I occasionally will live bet, but I think that's for suckers. You're chasing when you're live betting.
But then I think in lies the issues. These leagues have gotten into bed with them so much, and then so you see the outcry. And I don't think John Harbaugh was doing anything nefarious in terms of gambling. He was trying to play gamesmanship with the Bears about Lamar Jackson. But the fallout of that is he's affecting the betting line of these games by saying he's ready. He's good to go. Full participant. And then, oh my God, the line changes, the betting changes. And then they find out, no. That actually wasn't the case. They have to, retract that a day later. I mean, sports books, mafia, illegal gambling, they don't want you don't want to dance around with that.
No.
And start screwing around with that stuff. So, I think those prop bets need to go away, and they need to go away now. But
well, it's going to be a hard one to, what is it? Put the toothpaste back in the tooth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're going to be able to do that, because I have a feeling that old timers like you and me just betting on the outcome of games or the over under.
Not exciting.
It's the prop bets have far surpassed that as far as a source of income.
Absolutely.
Sports books. So,
but it's more exciting because think about the fantasy aspect of sports now. A lot of younger, like your kids and in that age group, they're more into the individual players now more than ever than they actually are the teams.
A lot of kids don't have favorite teams now; they just have favorite players.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'm real curious to see where this thing goes. And I think the fallout from the Terry Rozier story is, and we brought it up with Canzano yesterday, I had kind of always been on the fence on the Jordan thing. I'll be honest with you. Maybe I'm naive because I just wanted to believe Jordan, but I always really just did think that Jordan just kind of took time away. His father was murdered, couldn't play basketball. He wanted to go play baseball. I kind of bought into that. But I think the information coming out on Terry Rozier, on how the NBA, let's be honest, tried to protect him and hide that story so it didn't get out, that's for Terry Rozier. What about Michael Jordan, the biggest athlete in the history of professional sports? Do you think David Stern was ever going to let that get out, that he was betting on games? And you look at his post-career. All these guys do this because they need that juice, that action, that feeling. Yeah. He talks about it all the time, how much he bets. You're telling me he wasn't betting while he was playing? And then furthermore, and I always thought it was bullshit from the second that story came out on Ohtani. Don't feed me a bunch of BS that he wasn't betting. Come on. It's not his interpreter. Are you kidding me? I guarantee Ohtani was betting on baseball. I mean, I say this.
So you think if he was a lesser player that they would really come down on him?
Yeah, but not him. They're not going to come down on Shohei Ohtani. He's the international superstar, face of baseball. They're not going to come down on him. I mean, listen,
Ohtani's got all kinds of conspiracy theories today.
Well, he's kind of a liar. I mean, Ohtani's a liar. Think about it. He speaks perfect English. You see him over there talking to Guerrero and everybody. He's talking to Freddie Freeman the other day. Freddie, he's throwing fastballs. And I'm like, you need an interpreter on the field?
I know, but Ichiro did that kind of stuff.
Of course, I know, I understand that. But I'm just saying that I mean, I think there's a lot. I think these guys, they are so competitive that is kind of that last outlet of competitiveness is gambling.
I guess to get something approximating the buzz that you get from being a professional athlete,
Yeah.
and if you don't have that anymore, I want to see Chauncey Billups in an orange jumpsuit in jail somewhere. I do, and the only reason I want that is because you look at a guy like him, and by all accounts, you're thinking, man, what a successful guy, what a rich guy from playing basketball, from coaching basketball, and that wasn't enough for you. That you had to be, I mean, just put him in jail for being a dumbass, a felony of being the biggest dumbass ever, for getting in whatever hot water he got in and then just ruining his life because whatever wasn't enough that he had. Shit, there's millions of people that would have killed to be in Chauncey Billups' shoes. And look at him now. I want to see him behind bars. God, I do. It's,
my favorite part of that whole story coming out of him being arrested and the poker games, the mafia, is we finally did it. We have X-ray glasses. I've been since the Jetsons were around, flying cars and X-ray vision, and we finally have it. We got self-driving cars with Waymos now. They can't fly yet, but now we finally have the X-ray glasses.
How many people are sitting there listening going, who the hell are the Jetsons?
Who are the Jetsons?
God, it was
Boy,
George
Elroy.
Jetson. Yeah. It was Jane, his wife.
Yeah. Elroy.
Astro was the dog, right?
Yeah. What was the daughter?
Was Jane the daughter? Or was she the
Jane
wife?
was the wife.
Yeah.
And for a cartoon, Jane.
The daughter was hot though. Animated hot.
So was Jane. Jane was animated hot too. But remember, X-ray. They had for people who haven't read the story. They had X-ray glasses that read through the cards.
Yeah. Mr.
Judy.
Spacely. Remember Judy. Remember Mr. Spacely too?
Oh, yeah.
George's boss. Yeah.
Yeah.
X-ray glasses. Okay.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the story.
God,
X-ray.
Don't you hate cheaters though?
X-ray glasses.
I mean, God, just cheating people out of money. Earn your own damn money. I hate all these fraudulent people out there. I hate all these people. You get texts now. It's like, hey man, haven't talked to you in a while. How are things going? And then you look at it and you go, I don't really recognize that number. Oh, but I'll click on it. And then as soon as you click on it, then all these fucking nightmares happen to you, where they get into your Visa account or whatever. It's like, hey, fuck off. All those fraudulent people out there, just go earn your own damn money. Anyway, sorry.
No, don't apologize. I was going to wrap this up with you, and we can talk more about it a little bit on Friday. Oh, speaking of Friday's show, it's not going to be live. It's going to be taped, but we will tape it, I think, Thursday night, and we'll have all the same regulars on Friday. But we're going to tape it. I can't.
When are we doing it? Live. Thursday night?
Thursday night, yeah. We can't do it live on Friday.
Right, yeah. Well, explain why, would you?
Oh, the Mary Lou has taken up diving this year at Ballard High School. She's a diver, and she is qualified for the Metro Championship. So now here's
that's awesome. Now that's a great reason to not have a live show. You're going to watch your daughter compete in the.
Haven't been able to watch her all year because the dive meets have happened like right during our football practice, and it's at 9 a.m. Now here's the thing I don't understand. It's the Metro Championships, right? So that's all the schools in the city. It's in Snohomish. Someone explain
Well,
that.
Do they not have a pool available?
Yes, we've got pools here.
Well, then why are they doing it? Why are they
I don't know. I have no idea.
Is it so that when you're on Monday, you can say, oh, my God, it took me 3.5 hours to go from Ballard to Snohomish Friday morning?
Oh, I'm going to have a Friday travel day of hell. I'm going to go up to Snohomish, come back. Then I volunteered to help Egan out for his big game of the week, and that's an Enumclaw.
What? Well, okay, that is a travel day from hell, but isn't every day in Seattle a travel day from hell?
Listen, every day of just getting out of my neighborhood anywhere is a hell. So don't worry about it. Getting from Ballard to the freeway.
Okay, what does she do? Does she do like a triple half pike and all that stuff?
I don't know all the names. Does a back dive, flip, does some triple Lindy
thing. On a high dive thing, or is it a regular?
Oh, like a regular
diving board. Okay.
Yeah, like 7 meters or something like that.
Yeah. So if she belly flopped, it wouldn't hurt.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, it's good. It's fun to watch, and they're quick. They're over pretty fast. I'm like, okay, now we're done.
That's cool. So she's gone from Florex state champion to now competing as a diver.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
It's
cool.
a lot of gymnasts do it. A lot of gymnasts will do that in the fall. So it's
All right.
fun.
Well, be a proud dad and go watch your kid.
I will. I can table this. We can table this then until Friday. I was going to ask you, sold on the Seahawks. It's a big conversation I'll have with Rob Staton today, making a case for and against the Seahawks Super Bowl contenders. What their odds right? The odds right now are 25-1.
I think there's more of a case for them than against them.
Okay.
Don't you?
That's a perfect. Yes, I would agree. I think there's one thing standing in the way, and if they can fix the running game and just be more consistent at it, then I think the sky's the limit for them.
That defense is unbelievable.
They're playing really good. Playing really good.
How do you have 4 turnovers in a game and win by double digits like they did against the Texans?
Yeah,
it's not like the Texans are a bad team.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah.
Oh,
no, I'm impressed. I bought in. I mean, I guess you look at Green Bay and you think, okay, that's the class of the NFC.
You're all 12s now.
Philadelphia, and then Tampa Bay beat you, so you lose the tiebreaker with them. But still, I think the Seahawks are as good as anybody else in that conference.
I agree. All right, I'll talk to you again. Well, Thursday night, but we'll play it on Friday. But I'll talk to you tomorrow. Be well. Always great to catch up with you. Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to Brothers in Cadillac, Angry Beaver, and also Clean Streak and Bright Owl Lighting. Thank you to all of those that make Jim Moore possible with us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll talk to you on Friday. See ya.
Okay, Puck. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs. There he is, Jim Moore. Again, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays with us here on the Daily Punch Up and Puck Sports. Coming up later, we'll talk to Ryan Divish, Inside Pitch with Ryan Divish from the Seattle Times. We kind of put a finishing bow on the season and then look ahead to a very impactful offseason for the Seattle Mariners. But before that, we got to talk a little Seahawks. Speaking of the Seahawks, we just kind of wrapped it up there with Jim. The case for and against the Seahawks being true Super Bowl contenders. We get into it on this week's show with Rob Staton, SeahawksDraftBlog.com, which is brought to you by Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
It's time for Inside the Bloody Trenches with Rob Staton, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Of course, you can follow Rob on social media at Rob Staton. Check out his YouTube page, Rob Staton Football. His weekly appearance, of course, brought to you by Georgetown Brewery, makers of Manny's Pale Ale, Bodie's Offer, Rogers, and their new tavern beer tasting room. Beer garden open daily from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Visit GeorgetownBeer.com. For those watching, and listening, I want you to tell our audience where you're at right now.
I'm in Paris. So I'm in France this week, and I'm actually in Disneyland Paris right now. So my kids have exhausted me. I'm even more tired this week, Puck, than I was having stayed up till 6 o'clock in the morning to watch that Texans game last week. So, and it's another primetime game this week as well. So I'll be even more tired after watching them play the Commanders with a 1 a.m. kickoff. I wish it was a 1 p.m. kickoff.
What they got all the same rides. Have you ever been to Disneyland or Disney World? They got all the same rides at Euro Disney.
So it's much smaller than Disney World in Orlando.
Okay.
They kind of have the same rides, the same sort of main rides. There's nothing they have here that I don't think they have in Florida, but Florida's got a lot more. And
okay,
I'm a big roller coaster person. They don't have that many over here. So when you get to Florida, I like to go to the Universal ones because they have scarier rides. But my kids do not like the scarier rides. They are wimpy as anything. So,
you're like my son. You like my son. My son and I, we do not like them. My daughter and wife love them. Go to everything. Do they have the Matterhorn there?
No.
Okay.
The what?
It's called the Matterhorn. It's in Disneyland. It's like the classic roller coaster ride they've got there. I mean, there's others, but that's
also everything's been turned into Star Wars or Marvel now. So I have to confess, I don't know anything about either of those things.
Right.
So it's all kind of it's like a new world for me.
Well, Godspeed to you. Been there before with kids. You're right. You need a vacation from the vacation. That's what you're going to need, because this is no vacation for parents when you take your kids to Disneyland, Disney World, or Euro Disney. All right. I want to start off with this. The Seahawks currently, I think this is Vegas Insider, 25-1 to win the Super Bowl. I almost said World Series. The 11th best, still have baseball in my mind. Yeah. 11th best in the NFL. They've got the 17th, I guess, easiest or toughest schedule, however you want to look at it. It's not that daunting. Although the tough games would be, I put Washington in there just because you don't know with Jaden Daniels, but Rams twice, Indianapolis, and then San Francisco. They would currently face the Lions in the first round because they're the 4th seed and the Lions would be the 5th seed. So, long-winded point of asking the question. After 7 games, let's take the what do they say, the 50,000 feet view of where the team is at right now. Where do you think they're at right now after 7 games?
I think they look like a playoff team. I think it's pretty clear they will, barring no touch wood, they don't have any serious injuries, then they're going to make the playoffs, I think. They've got a good chance of winning the NFC West. I think they've got as good a chance as the Niners and the Rams of winning the West. That seems like it could be quite a close race. But do I think I'm going to rush to the online betting website when I'm back in the UK and can do that to put 10 English pounds sterling on the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl? I will not be doing that. I don't think they look like a team that is primed to win the Super Bowl as we are speaking right now. I do think it's a very open NFL, and we might not know who the series contenders are until maybe the wild card round of the playoffs is complete. But as of today, I think they are probably somewhere between 9th and 11th in most power rankings, and they feel like they're probably the 9th or 11th best team in the NFL.
Yeah. It has been curious, though, in the last, it feels like to me, I don't know about you, in the last few, 2-3 weeks, they really have garnered a lot of attention. I mean, a lot of people are talking about them. A lot of like, hey, this is a sneaky Super Bowl team. Watch out for this team. Hey, no one's talking about Seattle. Let's make a case for why people would say that about Seattle. And then we're going to make a case against. We're going to play. This is old school debate. We're going to play both sides.
I suppose the case that they'll be making is that Sam Darnold has probably played better than a lot of people were anticipating in the summer, because there was a lot of the national reporters and writers and the smart 12s, as I think a few of us have been calling them, felt like they made a heinous crime by trading Geno Smith away and replacing him with Sam Darnold. And I think they've decided actually Sam Darnold's pretty good. So they now sort of see a player who could potentially validate you as a Super Bowl team. Obviously, Jackson Smith and Jig, but NFL noisemakers love a cool receiver to talk about. And when JSN's like leading the NFL, okay, you've got a quarterback who's kind of cool, and you've got a receiver that's kind of cool, and Mike McDonald's a young coach and defense playing well. Okay, that's kind of cool. We'll talk about them. I think that's where it all kind of comes from. And also it helps when you win a game on Monday Night Football. There was only 2 games that night, and they were going to talk about the 2 teams that won whatever happens. If the Seahawks had beaten the Buccaneers, there'd have been a whole crazy week of, wow, the Seahawks are a legit Super Bowl team. Instead, Tampa Bay got all of that talk. So when you beat the Texans, you are going to get that talk. Same will happen if they beat the Commanders on Sunday. The Seahawks are a legit team. They're in the mix. That's what will happen. But as we now move on to perhaps the other side of it, I think there's probably some arguments that need to be heard on that side as well.
All right. So then, all right. Just like in high school or prep school, or what do you call high school over there? Like secondary school?
Secondary school.
Secondary school. That's right. All right. So now we got to play the other side. Now let's make an argument against them being one of these teams that people talk about for the Super Bowl.
In every game that they have won, they've made hard work of it. They have conspired to try and make what should have been comfortable blowouts into 1-score games. And in the case of the Cardinals game in particular, needed a last gasp field goal benefiting from a terrible kickoff from the Cardinals to win that game. And I think if you were going to talk about a serious Super Bowl team, you can't be pissing about in the fourth quarter with like a 10-point lead or a 14-point lead. You've got to be sort of stepping on the throat in those situations and finishing those games, especially when you're playing teams that are not the creme de la creme of the NFL. So I think there's that. I think there are some position groups that are still depth-wise are not great. If you lost we've already seen it. If you lose Julian Love for a period of time, you lose Devon Witherspoon for a period of time. Rick Mullen's been out as well. That can test things. Do they have an elite edge rusher? I think they have good edge rushers. I think Chenna Nwosu and DeMarcus Lawrence really upped the game recently, which has helped. But they don't have the season's on the line. Who's going to get you a sack in the fourth quarter and end this thing? Like Nick Bosa did in week 1 against Seattle. They don't have that kind of player. So I think I would very much put the Seahawks in. They are a very good team. Are they a great team? Not yet. Is there time to become a great team? Yes, absolutely. But they're not quite there yet. And I don't think that's a negative thing either. I think that's just fair enough.
Yeah, and that's that's where I'm at with them. See, I don't think they're there yet. I don't think they garner the attention quite yet. I can't get there with a team that is 31st in the NFL and average rushing yards per play. That's a tough one. They are committed to running the ball, but right now they're just not really effective at it. Now maybe that will change. Maybe they will, I don't know, lean into Ken Walker a little bit more. Maybe divide up the carries where it is more Walker, less Charbonnet. Maybe that improves in the second half here of the season. It could get better. You've seen in every sport some aspect of whatever the team has been struggling at get better as the year goes on. Maybe they'll get better at that, but they have to be a little less one-dimensional in terms of what they're doing offensively. And I think along those lines too and maybe they'll keep it up. I don't know. Maybe there's examples of other teams doing this in the passing game, but God, they really are relying on one particular guy and he's it. And we talked about it, I think even before the Houston game, I thought, what's the Texans going to do? They should just double team, triple team. I don't know. Just take him out. Whatever they tried to do didn't work because he was phenomenal. But that is I guess a quote negative about where they're at right now, just not getting that proper balance of running the football. And that was the whole offseason talk was, we got to get Clint Kubiak or whoever to improve that running game and move on from Ryan Grubb. But yet they still have yet to get that clicking. If they do get that clicking though, yeah, I think they can be a force because now you've got a passing game that has shown that they can move the ball on teams. You've got a very effective defense at times. And then you counter that or add to that an effective running game. Yeah, then those are the ingredients that make you a championship football team.
I think there's a couple of things. I thought it was quite interesting. I was having a conversation with Michael Sean Dugar, of course, as you can hear on Puck Sports.
Great.
And he was saying that the Seahawks have faced more stacked boxes than I think any other team in the NFL so far, which suggests that teams are really zoning in on their run game. And that might be one of the reasons why the pass game is excelling so much, is that sort of teams are picking their poison against Seattle. We're not going to let them run against us. But ultimately, that's making Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba the explosive force that they are. Because Jackson Smith and Jigba is way ahead of everybody else in the NFL. Even Jamar Chase is a mile behind. Puka Nakua's obviously had a bit of an injury, but he's so far ahead. And I do think that's probably playing a part. But Mike was also saying that they also do poorly in comparison to the other teams when facing a stat box. So they've not had the answers that you need to have because all teams are going to face a stacked box at some time. And when the Seahawks face a stacked box, they are particularly bad at dealing with it. Now, there was a play last week that was highlighted, and one of the people who reports on the Seahawks claimed this was a bad read by Ken Walker. And it wasn't a bad read by Ken Walker. It was a classic outside zone run. And he did exactly what he was supposed to do, running to the left. It was just poorly executed with the blocking. And it was Gray Zabel's fault. Gray Zabel had to sort of check down initial contact with the first man that he's going to face, then progress to the second level. And he didn't deal with his combo block well at all. And it got blown up very, very quickly. That's part of the issue with the zone blocking scheme and why it may take some time. You are not asking guys to blow people up at the line of scrimmage. You are not asking your guards to just go head on, square up. I'm going to hammer you. You are moving backwards, and I'm going to create a lane. You're often asking them to do 2 blocks. You're asking them to move into space and execute in space. And it is technically a lot more refined than a gap scheme. And it just seems to me that this line is still taking its time to get to a place where it's second nature for Zabel to just do those blocks. He's having a really good start, but he's having some growing pains with that. the other linemen are as well. It's not just a rookie Zabel thing. So the hope has to be that time will be a healer in that regard, and that they're still working on this. The good news is pass protection wise, that there's such a sea change from last season. I mean, Puck, how many times have we actually? We don't spend hardly any time talking about the line apart from we talk about the running game. Last season, it was a weekly, let's complain about how terrible this offensive line is. So that is a huge step forward from last year, which is a positive.
Absolutely. You wrote on SeahawksDraftBlog.com, and I would encourage people to go read it, one of your latest pieces. You are less confident, as we are, 5 days away, less confident that they will make a deal on the November 4th deadline. Why?
Many, many reasons. Do you know what? There's actually something I would add to that piece, which I'll sort of bring to the table here. The fact the Niners need a pass rusher, right? We can both agree. The Niners badly needed a pass rusher because Nick Bosa was gone. And the only thing they've been able to do is just chuck a ham sandwich the way of the Patriots for Keon White, who's promised a lot coming into the league, was said to be the kind of breakout candidate under Mike Vrabel, and Vrabel has basically said, can you go away now, please, to the other side of the country? Like, they've just got rid of two players, Duggar and White, off that defensive roster because they don't want them. And if the Niners, as desperate as they are for pass rushers, are basically going, this is all we can do, that suggests that the market is difficult. Because I think if there was an aggressive move to be made, the Niners would be the one pressing to do it. And I think they've dug around, had a look what's there, and they've thought, we can't do anything, tam sandwich for Keon White time. So I think from the Seahawks point of view, is there somebody out there who they want to throw a ham sandwich the way of just for the sake of doing something? Maybe there isn't. I think what they really would love to do is bring somebody in who's going to go, right, that's it. That's your Leonard Williams. That's your Ernest Jones. And the more you look around, I'm not sure the offers, the players are there. Your Max Crosby's and that are not available, it seems. Two, are there a lot of teams in that market, and therefore it's stalling things because the teams know, hey, we've got about 15 teams who want our player, so we're going to ask for a higher pick than we otherwise would. And three, are there teams out there who are just being realistic with their price? Apparently, Rashid Shaheed, the Saints want a third-round pick for this guy who's out of contract in the offseason. No one's going to pay that. So if the asking price is that for him, and that's translating to other players, it just maybe feels like this is a harder market than people anticipated to trade in. So I really hope they can do something, Puck. I'd love to see an aggressive move right now because I think they're a team that is primed for that. And the draft next year, at the moment, it stinks. Like, things can change, but at the moment, that draft is stinky. And I'm not concerned about giving away a bit of draft stock to really improve the team. So hopefully there's still a move to be made, but not optimistic at this point.
I would never, when I hear guys aren't available, because we've heard that about Max Crosby, right? He's not available. Okay. We've covered this long enough, and in all sports, it's just, I use the line all the time. They're all professional liars. It's just all at times window dressing. I think everybody's available, if for the right price. It's just, what are you gonna cough up for that person? So, I still think, especially where they're at right now as an organization, I wouldn't shut the door on Crosby. I wouldn't shut the door on anybody. I mean, obviously, there's going to be the two guys that everyone's going to focus on. Is going to be Crosby and Trey Hendrickson, and we'll see if they're moved. I don't think anyone should be shocked if they are. And they've been aggressive. You're right. They have, you wrote about it, and you're right. I think if you look back what they've done the last few years, they've been very aggressive at this deadline. I think the league has it. This has been very different than when I was growing up, and the trade deadline was never a thing in the NFL ever. It was the baseball trade deadline. And then it was the NBA, but the NFL was like nothing. No one ever did deals. Feels like in the last few years, there's been a lot of deals. So we'll see if there's a deal there by next week. I wish you good luck the rest of your trip. A lot more walking and standing in lines and buying things that you don't want to buy at Euro Disney for your kids that they desperately want it. And they're telling mom and dad, I need this. And then you get it for them. And then they play with it for about a week, and then it's lost. Like a Harry Potter wand stick that I once bought that we had to wait in line forever at Universal Studios to get the Harry Potter wand stick that, I don't know. I can't even remember how much it was. Too much. And I was lost within a week and a half. So
I often think if you took everything that you've bought for your kids that they played with once and just threw on the floor, you might be a millionaire. Like you could legitimately have like a huge amount of cash from all of those things. And it really makes you cry, doesn't it? That thought.
Sure does. Well, at least go get yourself some funnel cake and some cotton candy and some more garbage there. Well, it's in Europe. Maybe they don't have all that garbage that we have over here, but maybe a little bit. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. Go read all of Rob's work, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Check him out on YouTube, Rob Staton Football. And, of course, you can check out this episode, a part of the Daily Puck Drop. And also, we separated up there on YouTube as well. Thanks, Rob. Best to you and the family. We'll talk next week.
See you next week.
If it's fun you desire, it's fun you're going to get at Flat Stick Pub. It doesn't matter what the occasion is, whether it's date night, guys night, ladies night, or large group event, Flat Stick Pub's got you covered. They have 6 great locations across the Pacific Northwest, from Pioneer Square to Kirkland, South Lake Union, Spokane, Bellingham, and Redmond. All locations offer the best pub experience in Washington. 2 rules at Flat Stick Pub: drink local and have fun. Pretty simple. So if you like to have fun, love local beer, and great tasting food, make Flat Stick Pub your next spot. Visit them at flatstickpub.com. Oh, man, we're not going to visit with this guy for a while. Well, I mean, we're going to give him a break, but this one, I don't like it. You know what? We talk to you every week for so long, and now we're not going to get you every week for a while.
You don't have to do that. I can talk every week. I don't always have to talk about baseball. I'm quite adept in gambling and other things. I hit a 3-teamer, back in Montana where you can go to a bar and place a bet. I hit a 3-teamer the other day.
Thanks, Terry Rozier. Jesus.
Yeah, I hit a 3-teamer for about 260. And then, the other one, though, I had a bet, like one of these props. It was Ohtani to hit a homer and Vlad Guerrero to hit a homer. And in 18 innings, one hit 2 homers and the other one couldn't hit 1.
Unbelievable. All right, Mr. Gambler. Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times, Inside Pitch. We talk baseball every single week, brought to you by Chalet Bowl. Big thanks to Reggie and the family for supporting and presenting Divish every single week to you, the audience. Check out chaletbowl.com, located in Tacoma's historic Proctor District. Family owned and operated for over 40 years. Book your lane reservation today, chaletbowl.com. All right, we're going to get to the M's for just a second, but that World Series so far, huh? Pretty good.
It's been pretty good.
Pretty good.
I mean,
pretty damn good.
I thought it was just going to be an ass kicking, but the one thing is Toronto can hit.
Yeah, they can.
And there are some flaws with the Dodgers as well. So, they've been able to kind of expose it. And I
just think the defense. I love defense. And there's just been some great defense.
Look, other people ran on Addison Barger too and got hosed. So I don't know why anybody.
God, that throw.
He's pretty good.
They clocked it at 99.
He's pretty good. The Mariners actually called on him this offseason.
Oh, well, bring him home. Was he born in Bellevue? Was that the story?
Quickly. Huh?
Yeah, that was the story. He was born in Bellevue?
Yeah, so he was born in Bellevue. His parents were Microsoft execs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was I think it was they kind of either if they cashed out their options or they were able to work online or what. They moved to Florida. And they did, started doing missionary work in like Dominican Republic and other places. So they built Barger this field at their property, because in Florida you can actually buy property, unlike Washington.
That's right. They built him a baseball field, didn't they?
Yeah, they built him a baseball field in the cage. And then when they were doing missionary work down in the DR, they just took him down there. So when he was like 10 or 11, they just put him out with all these other kids from the DR who
little Julios.
Yeah, and they're just kicking his ass all over the field apparently. But then he got better, started lifting all this other stuff. And I mean, you want to talk about? So I thought Randy Arozarena swung hard. Addison Barger takes a G hack like you've never seen. It's pretty ridiculous.
He's real good out there. He's fun to watch. All right. Let's pivot back to the Mariners. We're not going to dwell on Game 7 anymore. I think we've run that thing down into the ground. We're going to focus on. Let's just jump right into the offseason.
Okay.
Before we start talking about moves, what are the important dates for everyone? when it comes to free agency? What do they need to know? It's 5 days after the World Series. They can start discussing with Naylor and things like that.
I mean, they could technically discuss stuff with Naylor now.
Right.
5 days after the World Series, everyone else can start discussing stuff with Naylor.
Okay, everybody else can. Okay.
Yeah. So technically, Naylor becomes a free agent, I think, the day after the World Series ends. He and him and Suarez, Caleb Ferguson, like Garver and Polanco have options to their contract. Garver has a mutual option for a third year, but I don't think they're bringing him back on the third year.
So when do they have to announce that? Is that after the World Series?
Yeah, I mean, they'll announce it. They probably have already informed them of their decision. I'm sure. I mean, like, the Mariners didn't expect Polanco to exercise a $6 million player option. I'm sure Garver didn't think that the Mariners were going to exercise a $12 million mutual option. So those have to be done right after in the days after the season, but I'm sure some of them have already been notified. So those are the days you can kind of remember, but they've had kind of an exclusive negotiating window with Polanco, Suarez, Naylor right now, trying to, but I mean, like, I think all three of those guys, I mean, as much as they may like it here, they're still going to go out and see what the open market has to offer.
As they should. They'd be fools to not test the market. It's
a counter offer on some level,
Of course.
You're able to do that. It's not like in our job where you just kind of will be employed.
There's no negotiations. You get one time. I had one time a bargain chip, and I used it. And that was it. Other than that, there's no bargaining at all.
Yeah,
there's
and then
nothing. You get what they give you.
Yeah. So I think in the days after I think people are automatically thinking, they just, because they've said it's a priority, resign Naylor. That doesn't mean it's going to happen right away. I would fully, I mean, he's earned the right to look around and see what you can get and not get. So,
well, that's a perfect segue because man, oh man, and the offseason brings, we read into social media posts and we read into comments, and it puts people in a tizzy. And Josh Naylor, Ryan Divish has put Mariner fans in a tizzy yesterday with him just commenting on a Cal Raleigh post. I believe this was on Instagram.
Yeah.
And Naylor said, I think the original post there from Cal was just, hey, great season, but our goal is to win a World Series, yada, yada, yada. Naylor responded, and this is what's got people driving off bridges in Washington State.
Yeah.
Quote to Cal, my neck still hurts, but it was all worth it. See you around, my friend. We'll always be rooting for you. Godspeed.
Yeah.
That sounds like he's out. He is gone, Divish.
People, like, this will make me sound like mean.
But you have to, there's these Mariner fans, and I am one of them. They're on eggshells right now. I mean, you can't say anything to them. I mean,
so I can't. Can't say get a fucking life.
Not yet. You gotta wait. You gotta wait a little bit longer. But
because the thing is like, one, Naylor is a weird dude. Nobody really knows how he thinks. He's gonna say what he thinks. I mean, the guy speaks in riddles. Like after the game, after the game 7, he was talking about like boxing and how much he loves boxing and like talking about all this other stuff. And I'm just like, okay, like I get it, but he doesn't, he's from Canada. He's from Ontario. He's going to write it a little differently. He's not going to just tweet the same way, or he's not going to respond the same way Bryce Miller does. But like,
sure. And he's not going to come out on a post. And I think everybody understands this and say, can't wait to see in a few months, Cal. Let's write it back.
No, he's smarter than that.
He's not going to do that.
He's way smarter than that. No. So, like, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. And there's a lot of people on the internet that kind of post their material on the internet or podcast or whatever. And
don't lump me into all of them, please.
No, because but I'm talking about like the content creators, whatever they call them, like they parse everything. They look for meaning in every single words or whatever,
sure.
Even like what Dipoto said, like, some people were like automatically thought that how that end of the season media thing was like, because it wasn't streamed live or whatever. There was like, oh, they're hiding stuff. No, I didn't like how the end of the season media thing went.
It was odd. I mean, it's like they looked like they were in a back hallway.
Yeah, and
that was just like weird.
Yeah. What I didn't like is just like, because I think part of it is like in the set press conference setting, you know, you get some people who like to grandstand with their questions just to show, hey, look, here's what I asked. Look at me. I mean, that's where the whole 54% thing came from in the last time.
Absolutely. I get it. I understand. I understand it from the Mariners' point of view, but I think I know where you're going to go with this. You don't like having them all do it at once separated.
Yeah, because what happens is like, so we sit there and they ask Justin Hollander something about it, and then Curtis is over talking to Dipoto. Then he comes over and asks Hollander something he'd already been asked before. And then Dan Wilson gets asked about the decisions like 6 times when you know he's not going to answer this. He's going to answer it the same way every time. So it was just like at the time, I might have complained to the Mariners PR that it was a raging clusterfuck, you know, and even Hollander kind of said, this is sort of dumb how we're doing this. You know,
because I mean,
like also there was like an echo in the room, and so like you could hear stuff, you know. And I mean, like, because
here's my thing. For me, it didn't look professional to me.
No,
a professional end of the year press conference after a heartbreaking loss is you sit up there with the backdrop up on the podium with the manager, GM, sometimes owner, and you take it. You take the questions, and that's it. It looked rinky dink.
And really, it wasn't like there was this whole gotcha thing. They're coming off of a disappointing loss, and to the Mariners' point was that it was still pretty raw for these guys. You know that they did. You know, it was only a few days later, but I mean, the players talked 30 minutes after it ended.
Right? It's raw for them more than anybody.
Yeah, the players had to talk for 30. So I understood it, and like Dipoto and Hollander teared up, and they were emotional. But like,
I thought they were very good, Divish. I was just going to say, I thought they were honest, and I thought there was actually, I felt that for a moment that Jerry Dipoto was human.
Yeah, I mean, like it was good, but it just, from a working standpoint, it was kind of a pain. We were smart enough when we realized how the setup was going to be, and we were going to have 3 people there anyways. We actually had 4. Like Jude just sat on him and his hair buddy Jerry Dipoto. They sat together. Like Jude just stayed there. I stayed with Hollander, and then Booth was over with Dan Wilson, and Burrell kind of floated around. My thing was, though, it was funny, is like everybody flocked onto Jerry right away. So for a while, it was just me and Justin and this guy from the Mariners social media team that was going to video me whatever I asked him. I was like, well, I'm not going to ask him while you're standing there. I'm not giving away my questions for free. I looked at the guy. Sorry, I'm not going to ask. I'm not helping you out. I'm not helping the team out by sitting there, you know, getting answers that you're going to pull for social media when I don't, you know, I need this for work.
Yeah.
You know, I need this.
By the way, let me jump in. This is very John Hickey of you.
Yeah, I know.
Continue.
Yeah, exactly. So I just sat there. So Hollander, I just sat there and BS, but I didn't record anything, or I didn't ask any formal questions, and I kept cursing like a sailor the whole time, knowing that he couldn't video it. And then, of course, I think Curtis came over and asked a question, or maybe it was that Terran kid from SI or whatever. And so then I started asking, but even then, once the camera went down, then I asked a couple other questions. And it's probably pretty stupid and petty on my part, because I can call Hollander if I need to or text him. But like, I didn't like some of that aspect of it all. Like, you know, we're trying to get information for stories we might not write the next day. And then the Mariners social media team bangs out a bunch of videos with the answers to the questions, but they never include the questions we ask. They just use the answers like they somehow got it for them. And I get irritated as hell by that at times.
Yeah, I get it. It's your job. You should be irritated.
Well, no, it's like, you know, you're holding the camera. You know, it's like sometimes when King 5, but then again, I didn't want the camera guys to ask questions. You know, when they would just send the camera guy in and they'd wait for us to ask everything. That one year when Root wasn't traveling because the Mariners were so cheap. So they just send the poor camera guy and they just wait for me to ask every question. I'm like, give me the mic and give me some money then, you know, is what I want to say. So the one day,
give me a jacket.
Yeah, the one day I don't remember where we're at. And Service was sick of me. Kramer wasn't on the road trip. Shannon wasn't down there. So I just stood there. I go, Scott, I'm not asking anything. You can ask these guys. And then everybody's just staring at me like, why would you do this to us? I'm like, no, because I was quite irritated at the Mariners that year that they didn't travel a reporter with Root because they were so cheap. And then I'm thinking, but we have to sit there and you use all of our stuff. Like they literally one time are like, the camera guy comes in and goes, can you go talk to Gabe Spire? Because our producer wants this. And I go, tell your producer to go stick the mic up his ass. And I was just like,
okay, let's get back to the offseason. All
Sorry.
right. Let's stop throwing the cameraman under the bus.
No, but anyway, so like all these people are parsing everything that Jerry DiPoto said at the time.
But I want to get back. I want to get to the hard numbers here because what he said there was 166 million is where they ended this year. He said that's in the ballpark or a starting point. To be fair, starting point of where they want to be again next season. Yeah. With the potential to boost during the season and the trade deadline. Okay, but where are they at roughly right now? 125 committed to next year, 130?
Yeah, so like Jude did the numbers. It's like roughly 32 million that they have.
Okay, so 32 million. Well, if you get Naylor, and let's just, we've gone back and forth. Is it 20 million a year? It's somewhere between 15 and 20 million that he's going to get. Yeah. Let's just, God, it's all gone.
Yeah.
If he takes up most of it, let's say you bring Polanco back. I don't know what you tell me what's Polanco.
Probably the Garver contract, 2 years, 24.
Okay. So that's 12. So then you got two moves and it's kind of gone. Unless you now then you're going to tell me, hey, they're going to listen to doing something with Arozarena. They're going to listen to something with Luis Castillo. I mean, it doesn't seem like this. Again, and I don't know why they do this. I don't know why he came out there and said this is the budget, but whatever, he did. So now this is going to be held over them all offseason now. Is this number that they've already put out there? They've already governed themselves, at least what he said on paper. So, but if that is the number difference, that is not a lot of money.
No, I mean, like I figured it between 30 and 35 million. Bump it up a little bit, but. And they want to leave themselves some working capital to have like at the deadline the way they added this year. And that's the one thing is they can always add money if they decide to. I think it's a weird way to work though, is like you don't invest too much and then you want to invest a bunch at the deadline.
Yeah.
But because like you're talking about 2/3 of the season's already done by the deadline.
But and therein lies the rub and problem with that philosophy, what he said. Mm-hmm. We want to be around 166 and then with the potential to increase it at the deadline. Well, one, you've got to be good at the deadline. Number two, you have to have things fall into place. Let's be real and let's be real honest here. They were fucking lucky this year. Lucky that Arizona fell off. If Arizona doesn't fall off, there's no Josh Naylor. There's no Suarez. No. There's no AL West. Like
you're trading for lesser players at that point. Then again, like think about this: they offered Carlos Santana I don't know what it was, 2-year contract, and he turned him down. And then Santana was DFA'd by mid-season. That's probably who they would have picked up. Justin Turner was the guy they looked at for DH. He was not a great player this year either.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like let's say they just what do they say? You said they finished at 166. So let's just say they set it at 170, and that's still not the highest it's ever been because the end of 2018, I think it was 175 maybe.
It's still middle of the pack.
Yeah. Like they can say that. I mean, and I think part of the reason why they do that is to sort of set an expectation level. So these people are out there saying, well, they need to sign Bregman, Naylor, this, and that. Like, here's where they're at. This is, and so like you don't set the idea that, oh, we're going to go get all these guys. Now, like I said, you could free up money to do that. Or maybe the opportunity comes up where it's like, okay, we can get all these guys that we want. Say there's 3 guys they want, Naylor, Polanco, maybe a reliever. and it's going to put you over the 170 by like 5 million. So you're at 175 or whatever. That gives them a wiggle room. It's not like they can't go over it. It's not like they get hit by a electroshock if they go over the budget, but like setting it to some level does set an expectation level for a lot of people, the fans, including agents and players. Does it back them into a corner? Not necessarily, because even if they didn't say it publicly, privately, it would leak out anyways. I mean, in years past when they never gave us a number, we would still find, I still found out the number from other sources, like they might not publicly say it, but people in the organization or people outside the organization would just simply call me and say, hey, here's what the Mariners budget is, because this is what they're telling us and this is where they're at. Usually it was an agent talking with them and could kind of gauge where they're at, or, hearing from other people. And so, I mean, I think there is some transparency in all of that. I think if you're a fan, you can be mad about the idea that it's only going to be 175. They bump it up to 200 million. They went over what they earned last year. They had how many playoff games at home? They get a playoff share.
And that's what I want.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's what I want the story on. I want the story. The Seattle Times. Is Paul Barrett still the editor?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the story I want. I want to know how much they made.
Yeah. Well,
I want to know. I want to know how much money they made during this postseason. I'd like to see that figure.
There'll never be a clean number. I don't know how the mechanics of the postseason work, because you're sharing the revenues from the TV deal, with the people in the postseason. There is some that goes to the rest of the league, but I don't know that, I don't know how your apparel, your concessions, all that stuff, how that factors in. Does that go back into the main revenue sharing pile of a season, or does it go only your teams in the postseason?
That's why you're the expert. You got to figure it out.
Extraneous money alone, I don't know if you went by Victory Hall or whatever that. And
no, I did not. I have not stepped foot in there. I've not gone in there. But I just, look at how many people were going, how many games they had. They opened it up for road playoff games for people to go in there. I'm assuming concessions were open for that. So, I mean, whatever. I think there was a lot of money being made, and maybe that opens their eyes. Hey, if we spend more money, get more postseason games, we earn more money. All right. Well, again, people have got to realize, I want to get to Arozarena and Castillo in a second, but back to the free agency. Everyone's going to put their eggs in one basket, and that's going to be Naylor. Listen, there's a probability that Naylor doesn't sign here, not because he doesn't like it here, just because maybe he gets more money elsewhere, or maybe there's a team he wants to play for that we just don't know about yet. From Ontario, maybe he doesn't want to live on the West Coast. He wants to live somewhere back east. I don't know. No one knows.
I think he told Jude randomly one time that he loved Texas. I don't know.
Okay, he loves Texas. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to have, and they will, a plan B and a plan C and all that kind of stuff. So it's got to be hard not to get just caught up in one player and obsess over one player, even though all of us want that one player back. But they just can't go all in on that one guy, because that one guy may say no to him.
No, but I think he should have the best feel of what he's looking for and all that stuff, just based on what the little bit about him and everything else. To me, honestly, if they gave out if they offered him Bowden's $90 million over 4 years, I couldn't imagine he wouldn't take it, because I don't know that anybody else is going to top that offer. It's just whether or not the Mariners are willing to go there. I'm sure they're not going to offer that right away, the initial starting point. But the one thing is the Mariners, they run their numbers and they have their algorithms. They have the player value for what they believe a player's worth on the free agent market. If you really want him, you're probably going to have to go over that.
Yeah.
If you really truly believe, if he is the priority, if he fits you the way that you say he fits, from what he brings to the clubhouse, all those things, when Jerry went on a 3-minute soliloquy about how great Josh Naylor was, he can't be a cheap ass about it. You got to go get him.
I wonder if he's talking, I wonder when he did that, is he talking publicly to his ownership?
Maybe. I mean, if I would think the ownership group could see how well Naylor fits, and they see the reaction of what
But it puts, but you know what he's doing, right? It's putting we all know he should be back. We all know he's a priority, so the public knows that, but it's putting it out there like he's the priority. If he doesn't sign here, don't look at me to blame me. Well, I'm not the one writing the check.
I mean, is it a CYA move? Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, you can get him. I mean, like, I don't think it's like I don't think it's going to take 150 million, you know, to get him. I think it's going to take closer to 100 million. Thing is, Jerry Dipoto's never the biggest position player that Jerry Dipoto's ever signed a free agent contract to with the Mariners was Mitch Garver, 2 years.
I know.
Before
and
that,
the largest is still Ray, right? 115.
Yeah. I mean, like 90 million. Like I thought, you know, if they just did four at 80 or 4 at 78 or 75 with some vesting options and some bonuses, I felt like that was pretty fair. I think that's more than Josh Naylor probably anticipated he was going to get when the season started. But like, he also played really well in the postseason, and like, you know, the things he did.
They just don't, and they don't have anything in the organization. I mean, that's the other thing.
Like, I mean, and it's not like his agent doesn't know that either. So he has a little agent has them too. Like, you come out and say he's the priority. We know you don't have anybody else. Go ahead, run it with Luke Raley and whoever at first base. You know, I think that's going to be the weird one. Like, I said it before, they just have to get comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable with what they're going to do. I mean, honestly, like talking with Hollander, you know, when they were looking at bringing back Polanco and all the red flags and other stuff that they had with his health and everything else, they were looking around, and what he was asking for, which was crazy, was like, you know, 1 year at 7.75 million. It was going to be more than what they were kind of anticipated spending, but they were like, well, you know what? We like him better than the other players that we're looking at right now. We like him better as a person and as a player, as a worker. We know more about him. Let's just spend this much, and then we'll figure out the rest as we go. It's the same thing with Naylor. They know who Naylor is. They know what he's about. They know how the players feel about him. You know, you're going to have to spend it. Like, something you really want, you have to be willing to spend it. It's like all the people that complain that the Seattle Times doesn't give free articles. Sorry, bud. If you want to read it, spend it. It's not that much, you know. And relative to production or need, giving Josh Naylor $18 million a year isn't that much if you think about it. What is 3 WAR? If 1 WAR is $8 million, if 1 WAR is $8 million, you've saved money on Cal and Julio, essentially, right?
Of course.
Well, yeah, you know, or the 3 WAR you got from Polanco or whatever. So it's like, if you want to win, you got to pay. That's just the way it works.
Let's go to Randy Arozarena. He's going to arbitration again. He's got a big number. It's a big number this year. What, 16?
18.
Was it 18?
Yeah, I think that's what trade rumors had. It was 18.
Okay, so Ryan, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
A lot of money for a guy that didn't produce from about August 1st on.
Mm-hmm.
And
what do you think they do with him? Is that where they do you sign him and then try to trade him, or how would you navigate that if they wanted to move on from him?
Yeah, I don't remember what the tender date is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you tender him a contract one way or the other, because like you may still try and trade him even if you don't have a contract, because the other team can negotiate the arbitration fee.
Yeah, right.
Not like what they did with Teo. I mean, this is kind of what it's like. This is basically like the Mariners are trying to trade Teoscar Hernandez to a team, except for Teo had better power numbers. Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I asked about a month or about August, maybe late August, when the first arbitration projections came out, and I just said, you guys going to trade Randy in the offseason to a couple of their guys? And they're like, well, why would we? And I was like, well, because he's going to make 18 next year. And they're like, well, yeah, but we think, you know, kind of the thinking was they wouldn't get enough value back in the limited number of teams that could take on his salary.
Uh-huh.
You're talking about the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Giants, Cubs, maybe. So I don't, you know, what you would get back in value wouldn't be very much. You would get salary relief. If the salary relief helps you go make another move or go sign a player or whatever, it's kind of like we were talking about with Luis Castillo last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'm sure they'll look at it. I'm sure that they'll check into it because they're smart. But I just don't know how many teams are willing to take on Randy for 1 year. I mean, they're willing to take it on for the 1 year, $18 million contract because it's like signing a guy that got a qualifying deal for the 1 year, kind of like what the Dodgers did with Teo. But then how much are you really going to get in return? And the Mariners don't really have, I mean, nothing we saw from the platoon of Canzone and Robles at the end of the season tells you that that's like a championship level platoon right now.
Right.
And then, you still have Rayleigh who can play, really dinged up this year. And then you have Julio. I mean, like Randy, for even being as bad as he was from about August 1st on, still finished with pretty good numbers and still was really productive at times when they needed him to be productive, especially when some other guys were dinged up. Yeah, I think they have to address it, but it's similar to trading Castillo. What you would get in value or in return right now likely doesn't help you that much at the MLB level. And really what you're trying to do is supplement your team in a way to compete at the MLB level, not for this next season, for the 2026 season, not for 2 years after that.
But I think they would do it for salary relief.
Well, they would do it for salary relief if they could go out, if they knew that there was somebody else. Like, the one thing is like some combination of salary relief plus the prospects you have. I mean, you start looking around at relievers or a position player. Like, there's still some good position players on teams that are probably looking to cut payroll. Like the Rays are perpetually looking to cut payroll. Is this the year where they go get Brandon Lau, or they go get Josh Lowe or somebody like that? They don't, their arbitration numbers are starting to get up there. Is that how you use Harry Ford and, some package, like a three team deal? I mean, like the Mariners could use their prospects too to supplement at the MLB level if the right matchup is there. But yeah, I always thought that Randy would never play all the way through just because of how expensive he got. It's the whole reason why the Rays traded him, was because he was getting more expensive than what he was providing, and they couldn't use that much money of their payroll on one player that they didn't necessarily think was providing what they thought in return. You can make that argument for Randy Arozarena, even with as good as he was last year. Is he going to replicate it this coming year? Who knows? But yeah, it's something they have to consider, just because, if there is somebody willing to take that money and you really think there's a guy that you can go out and get helps you, or you think that, Michael Arroyo, who's probably going to start playing some left field, can help you here soon, or somebody like that, or Laz Montes is on the fast track, you probably have to look into that.
Luis Castillo, last thing. So is the no trade clause now is finished? That was through 2025.
Yeah.
He's set to make $24.1 million next season. In 27, another 24.1. Then he's got a vesting option for 28, which is at 25. And the vesting option, I think, if I'm reading it correctly, is based on innings pitched in 2027, which I think is 180. So he'll be a free agent in 29. Again, a lot of money for a guy his age. And again, he was great. He was great this year. I mean, he was posted every 5 days. He was there for you. He was solid. But again, is he a guy that would give you some type of relief if somebody else would take him in order for maybe you to sign some more free agents offensively? And do you look at what they have maybe in the minors? I mean, can you get away with Logan Evans as your fifth starter or an Emerson Hancock? You tell me, when do they expect Kate Anderson to be ready? You think, this is something we talked about last year that they would think about doing. And part of the reason there was probably a little bit of pushback is because there was no trade clause. Well, that's gone now. I would think that they would revisit that one more time this offseason.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it'd be due diligence not to. I don't know what you get in return. I don't know that you would get full salary relief or anything like that. Or maybe it's like the bad contract for bad contract. And it's not a terrible contract. I mean, but you get a player that's got a couple years left, similar to what they did with Haniger and Robbie Ray a few years ago. Somebody who's, you got a player that's making a lot of money, doesn't fit with what you're trying to do, and you need pitching, you could swap it that way. I know everybody mentioned the Red Sox. I don't think they need the pitching as much, but, or the Yankees or something like that. If they have a contract that they're looking to move, plus, you could do it that way. I don't know what his value is. I think a lot of people And I thought he was better, after he had that little swoon there in like mid-August, and then he kind of came back, cleaned up some mechanical stuff. I mean, I don't know that he's ever going to be the pitcher that they got a few years ago in 22, just because of age. Father Time's undefeated, but I do think he's aging better than like when Felix started to go downhill, it fell off a cliff fast.
Yeah.
I don't think Castillo's that guy, but I don't know that many teams are willing to invest that much money into a guy that's largely projects to be a third or fourth starter in most rotations. Now the Mets could do it. I mean, somebody's going to give Framber Valdez $140 million, and the dude's crazy. So, I mean, like people will get desperate and all that stuff. If there was a trade to be made with Castillo, I don't know it would be early, because I think it's going to be based on how the pitching market shakes out. But yeah, I mean, you definitely look at that and see, well, is there a way to make that work? Again, salary relief can use it on anybody. Cade Anderson, from what I was told, isn't going to be invited to big league spring training. He'll be there. He'll be on minor league side. He'll be at their high performance camp, but they don't want to start, like, because of where he's going, they don't want to start him so soon in the big league camp and like almost like he's competing for a job and build him up. Then he goes to minor leagues. You're trying to control it. They want him to just start normal season. I would assume he'll be at Everett to start the season because he's that advanced. But could he do the Savage thing? Yeah, I'm certain he could. They're going to have to be very smart in how they control their innings. But yeah, I think, he could bounce up. You still have, I mean, technically Ryan Sloan's ahead of him. Drangelo Sincha is ahead of them. I mean, like, they both can move up quick. I don't know what they're going to do with Hancock. I think they think he might be better out of the bullpen. But, you have some options. And if anything, too, like, you can go get the journeyman fifth starter to get you through for a while until you see if these other guys. I'm sure Casey Lawrence is still available out there.
Let's go get him. Bring Lawrence back. He deserves another shot.
Tommy Malone somewhere available, too, ready to go.
Tommy Malone.
But
who was the other guy that he was always obsessed with? He went to the Cubs. Left-hander.
Oh, God. Not Wade Miley.
Drew Smiley.
Oh, Drew Smiley, yeah. So I don't know.
Drew Smiley.
There are guys available that could fill that role, that fifth starter role, or kind of be a swing guy. I mean, I think anytime you have a guy that is making as much as Luis Castillo or Randy Arozarena, especially with Randy, who's going to be a free agent after this year, I think you take a look and see. I think you chop it. If it's not where you like it, screw it. You just try and run it. But I mean, that's, I always thought that Randy would price himself out regardless. The one thing was too, is like, he's embraced being in Seattle a lot more than he did before. So that makes a big difference. Like before, he was just miserable when he was here. Well, like, honestly, like, of the group, the easiest to probably bring back is Polanco, because he really likes Seattle. He's comfortable. He's not a guy that makes a lot of change. You don't have to break the bank on him, but you have to go over what you spent for him, which is roughly $8 million. Like I said, if you bump it up to $12 million or whatever for 2 years with an option for a third, I think that's a pretty fair contract and something he might be interested in signing.
All right. You know what? We don't have to break the bank for you. We don't pay you enough. We just give you little scraps, but you keep doing it and you're great at it. With the great Montana Till I Die t-shirt. We're going to give you a little break.
Okay.
But we're going to call on you, especially when news breaks, and then just to check in, like a wellness check.
Okay.
To make sure that you're doing okay.
Well, yes, because there's no guarantee that I'm going to be in Montana the whole off season. So, but
stay there and bundle up. Start shoveling snow. When do we think the first snowfall is going to be? It's October 29th right now.
It's already snowed in the mountains, and usually around here you always have snow on Halloween, but I'm thinking probably 2 weeks from now. So it's about like, it's kind of like when Zevy's going to get his first transfer offer, about the same time.
He's already done. He's done. He can't transfer anymore. He's out of options.
Now find a way.
Out of options. There's other guys that they're going to come after, and come after our coach too. I don't like it. All right. Thank you, Divish. Appreciate it. Ryan Divish, Inside Pitch, Seattle Times. Follow him on X or Twitter at Ryan Divish. His weekly visit with us throughout the baseball season. Thank you so much for doing it. This has been a blast. Thank you to Reggie and Chalet Bowl. Visit chaletbowl.com to book your next reservation. Experience the best in local fun. This really was fun. We started the season with you in Montana. Well, now, did you do a few games? I can't even remember now.
Yeah, I did the
and
first
then did you
week.
leave?
I did the
first week.
Yeah.
And then we got to follow you coach the Havre North Stars all summer. That was awesome. It was great. It ended in heartbreak, but I mean, I can't wait for the book to come out. You know what I'm missing more than anything that you came back to the beat? One, I'm happy that the Mariners didn't fall apart because there was a lot of us that thought they were going to fall apart when you came back.
Oh, yeah.
I miss the bus rides when you would go on the bus rides and then you would artistically shoot the passing landscape with your fill in the blank country music star.
Yeah,
That's what I miss.
A little bit of Turnpike Troubadours in the background. Yeah, yeah.
That was my favorite. I
know.
missed the Havre North Stars road trip. Are we coming back to coach him, or was that a one and done?
I don't know yet. Like,
Okay.
I think Jude wants me to come back and coach because I think he thinks it helps my overall personality.
It was
I think
great.
he's trying to build up some hotel points and airline miles because for all of his trips and all his kids. So we'll see. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Wow.
Well,
Well, it's starting
sooner than I did before.
Well, it's right around the corner. It's starting. Anybody that has a kid that's into club baseball, you know you're reporting next week pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, let's try out. Let's have 11-year-olds try out for a 12U team when they're still growing and some of them will be going through puberty, but let's do it in the fall for our spring team. That's really smart.
Yeah, that's always good. All right. You did a great job. Hell of a season. Great writing. You and everybody over there at the Seattle Times. We'll check in very soon. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, anytime you need me.
There he is. Big gift. Thanks again to Ryan Divish for joining us throughout the baseball season. Don't worry, he's not going anywhere. He'll be back. We'll check on him during the offseason as well, especially when we get to winter meetings and breaking news and things like that. And also a big thank you one more time to Reggie Frederick and the whole crew over there at Chalet Bowl, chaletbowl.com for sponsoring Divish every single week. We gave you the full meal deal there. We didn't edit anything out. But, to get the full meal deal, you can always sign up to become a Pucks Posse member, by the way. $5 a month is all it costs you. We give you support everything we do here on the Daily Puck Drop and Puck Sports. And also, we give you bonus shows every single week. You'll get visits from Divish during the offseason. Also, reminder, Old Crimson with myself and Jim Moore and Paul Sorensen is out. It's available on YouTube, also available on any podcast platforms there as well. So it's out there. We recap the Toledo win, looking ahead now to Oregon State and the job that Jimmy Rogers has done. All right, we wrap up the show. It's going to be a real quick one with Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One in North Seattle. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services, locally owned and operated. Making your first call on those damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. A reminder, we won't have a live show Friday. We'll have a tape show. So we'll still give it. We'll drop it at 10 o'clock, but no live show. Off to watch my daughter compete in the Metro Championships for diving. How about that? But again, we'll post it at 10 a.m. My last thing on Hey What the Puck, just be short and sweet, and this can apply to everything that's going on, sports, non-sports. Can we just be kind to everyone? Do that today. Be kind to someone. Whether you see someone in person, someone online, what have you. Try being kind. Goes a long ways. It's good for you, right? Short and sweet. That's Hey What the Puck, again, brought to you by Restoration One. Give me a call, 206-817-8917. Visit them at restoration1.com. Thank you for watching and listening today. Thank you to all of our sponsors, Limbeck Lumber, Georgetown Brewery, Flat Stick Pub, Chalet Bowl, all of you, also Georgetown Brewery and Restoration One. Thanks to gym sponsors as well, Brotherton Cadillac, Angry Beaver, and A Clean Streak. Find today's Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe, like them all, and also go to pucksports.com for everything there. We will see you tomorrow, Thursday's edition of the show. I will include a visit with Mike Garofolo, another episode of KJ Arntz with one Mitch Levy. We'll talk to you tomorrow. As always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!